Tom Cotter was the runner-up of season 7 of America's Got Talent.
He prides himself in taking his version of politically incorrect comedy around the globe. Shows taking America by storm. He joins us live here. Tom, good to see you. Happy New Year to you. How you feeling?
And Happy New Year to you as well.
We appreciate that. We talked earlier, before we get to some of your shows, we talked earlier about New Year's resolutions. I kind of shared mine, which was making my bed, to which I've already failed. Do you have any yourself, and is that something that you participate in?
Of course. This year I'm trying to be less condescending. That means talking down to people. And also, I want to be a nicer person. I want to do more good deeds. I do a fair amount of good deeds now. Most of them are court-ordered, but I do them. And my brother gives 50% of his income to charity. That's his ex-wife's name, Charity. So we all give back.
I like it. You know what? Those are doable for sure. You know, you haven't ruined them yet. You can stick with it throughout the course of this year. Tom, I was thinking back to last year where we saw some comedians really take the stage in a very memorable way, but also unfortunate one. Of course, I'm alluding to that infamous Oscars slap. Any anticipation of what we could see this year?
Well, you know, that's kind of the state of where we are right now. It's a very sad and pathetic place for comedy in general. We just went through a pandemic where we couldn't work. I couldn't have a live audience because, you know, that was a super spreader event. So you couldn't do live shows. So we had to do Zoom shows, and it was just a really tough time. But even before that, we had this woke thing creeping in and making all comedy hate speech so that everything you utter, it gets put under a microscope and you get eviscerated online. Seinfeld famously wrote an op-ed to the New York Times saying he doesn't want to work at colleges anymore because these kids show up with a chip on their shoulder waiting for you to utter that syllable that's going to trigger them, and then they annihilate you online. And that's just, it's a sad state of affairs with comedy. Now you've got other comics coming up and slapping comics in the middle of an award show and then being rewarded with Best Actor Award 20 minutes later. I don't get it.
Yeah, Tom, I wanted to ask you too, and maybe some of the viewers are wondering this. Is there a behind-the-scenes moment that maybe you can share? Do you have, I don't want to use the word advisors, I don't have a better one, but is there someone saying, hey, maybe you should stay away from that joke versus maybe 10 years ago you would have used it? How does that work?
Joan Rivers could not survive today. Don Rickles could not survive today. You know, we've come to this place where these people wake up in the morning and their first thing is, how can I be triggered? How can I be outraged so I can get online and you know, destroy these people and cancel them? And that never existed before. Comedy used to be a free speech thing. We used to love to work at colleges. That's where we could get away with the most. Now they're the place that we have to be most terrified of performing because everything now, again, is hate speech. You can't say things now that you could just 5 or 10 years ago because everyone is so woke and so triggered. It's a sad state of affairs for comedy.
How do you combat that? How do you keep up with your craft?
You got to be squeaky clean. I did a week at Busch Gardens this summer, and I had to do 4 shows a day, 28 shows for the week, and that's, you know, rated ultra G. And so, you know, we have to just be careful about what we say and know our audience and play to them. I don't want to offend anybody. That's not what I'm into this for. I'm trying to make people laugh. But people get so offended over everything now, and comedy by nature is mockery, it's lampooning, and you just can't do that now the way you used to. It has to be all self-deprecating. I have to talk about I'm short and I'm a middle-aged guy and I get burned by the moon on cloudy nights because I'm pasty white and all these things. And I can't do an hour of just taking shots at myself. So that's kind of where we are now.
Yeah, well said. Good point. I wanted to also ask, because we were showing some of the clips there, or at least the website, you were on America's Got Talent, highly rated television competition show. You made it pretty far. I think you got top 7. Which act were you beat by?
This is hurting my feelings. First of all, I was the top human finisher my season. I'd like to point that out.
Okay.
Because I did, in fact, lose to a dog act. And go ahead, you can laugh. It's fine. I was beaten by non-humans on that show. Creatures that had no idea they were even in a competition defeated me in front of 20 million viewers. And when you come in second to a dog act, you do feel like number 2. I will share that with you. I was very, very devastated.
Dogs are pretty cute. No offense, Tom.
They are. I voted for the dogs, so I can't throw stones. I love dogs. We have a lab. It's a meth lab, but we guard it with pit bulls, and they're adorable.
That's hilarious.
Tom, what's next for you? What are you doing this year?
Well, we're touring now. We're back to, thank God we're out of this pandemic, because no one wants to see me on, doing Zoom shows anymore. So I'm right now in Florida. I love being in Florida. I went on a whale watch yesterday. I was at a Walmart in Orlando. That was fun. And so, we're touring. We're getting out there again, reconnecting with our audiences, because we couldn't for 2 years. So that's really where I am right now. I've got a special coming out and some other stuff. But yeah, that's the current state of affairs. Is we're just happy to be back at work.
Yeah, well, we're happy to see you back at work, bringing a lot of laughter to many Americans and joy in this brand new year. Tom Cotter, look him up online. Hilarious stuff. Tom, congratulations on being the #1 human finisher there on America's Got Talent. Now remember.
Well said, sir. Well said. Thank you, and Happy New Year to you all.
You too. Thanks so much, Tom.